Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I am Dintya. I am student of Islamic Economic Department in University of Darussalam. Okay, on this occasion, I want presentation about my thesis proposal under the title The Effect of Inflation and Leverage on Profitability and Return of Sharia Stock in Manufacturing Companies in Indonesia Sharia Stock Index. Okay, for introduction. Okay, next. Okay. Okay, now in introduction. In economy, the capital market has a very important role in achieving the creation of efficiency of a launching fund because there's a relationship between parties needing fund and parties that have excess fund. Investor can choose alternative in investing that are able to provide the most optimal return through of capital market. Along with the increase index shown by the Jakarta Islamic Index, the development of Sharia capital market show a percentage increase in the index in Jakarta Islamic Index, even though the value is not as large as in the composite stock price index. Okay, next. Okay, in previous research conducted by Lina in 2006 and Zainuddin in 2012 show that profitability has a positive and significant effect on stock return, while the results of research conducted by Zahro in 2012 show a negative influence of profitability on stock returns. Okay, next. Okay. Okay, next previous research on the influence of leverage on profitability and research stock showed different results. Ludi Janto in 2014 and Warat in 2014 showed the positive and significant results of the influence of on the influence of leverage on profitability, but unlike those produced by Martono 2002 and Marlina 2015, that result a negative relationship. Okay, next. Okay, therefore, in this study, the author used Sharia-based manufacturing industry object list in the Indonesia Sharia Stock Index. Growth in the manufacturing industry is a strong reason for investors to invest in the manufacturing industry sector because the manufacturing industry has a big role in improving in economic growth indicated by the number of manufacturing companies listed in the Indonesia Sharia Stock Index, which annually increases and makes the company the dominant position. As a result of the background description, the review is interested to find out more in the study. The effect of inflation and leverage on profitability and return of Sharia stock in manufacturing companies in the Indonesia Stock Index. Okay, the next research and question. Okay. Okay, the first, do inflation, leverage, and profitability have a significant impact on the return of Sharia stock? For the for the number second, do inflation and leverage have a significant impact on profitability? So the third, is profitability able to mediate the influence of inflation on the return of Sharia stock? And the last, is profitability able to mediate the influence of leverage on the return of Sharia stock? Okay, next. research objective. Okay, in this, to know the influence of inflation and leverage on the profitability and return of Sharia stock, and to know the ability of profitability and mitigating the influence of inflation and leverage on the return of Sharia stock on manufacturing companies in the Indonesia Sharia Stock Index. Okay, the next for conceptual framework. Okay, okay, for the conceptual framework, for the first, effect of inflation on stock returns. In general, the increase in the price of goods is caused by rising inflation that will result in a decrease in the share price. Okay. Okay, the decrease in the number of requests will eventually decrease the company revenue, so that it will affect the return achieved by the company. Return is the result obtained from investment divided into the first return realization, which return that has occurred calculated by historical data, and for the second return expectation, which is the return that expects to be obtained by investor in the future. Okay, for the second, inflation. Inflation is a measure of economic that provided an overview of the increase in average price of goods and service produced in economic system. So, the inflation indicator are as follow. Okay, next. Okay, the first, the customer price index is common indicator used to describe price movement. And the second, the last trending price index is an indicator that describes the price movement of commodity trade in a region. Okay, for next, Sharia stock. Sharia stock are one form of common stock that has special characteristics in the form of strict control in terms of halal scope of business activities. So the Sharia stock include in the calculation of Jakarta Islamic Index in an index issued by Jakarta Stock Exchange, which is sub of the composite stock price index. Okay, for the last, in research methods, this study is a type of associative research with causal relationship where there are exogenous and endogenous variable. In this study, exogenous variable are inflation and leverage, and the mediation variable is profitability, and the endogenous variable is Sharia stock return. Okay, next. Okay, in this study, use quantitative and qualitative data in period 2016 and 2020. These data are secondary data sourced from the website of the Sharia Stock Index of Indonesia and Bank Indonesia. Okay, next. Okay, in the population use is manufacturing companies that are always listed in the Indonesia Sharia Stock Index for the period 2016 and 2020. The sampling method used is proportional random sampling method. The data analysis used in this study is part analysis to determine the influence between variable and Sobel test to find out the median influence of median variable. Okay, maybe until here my presentation. Okay, thanks for your attention and good luck together. Okay, thanks. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.